Alright folks, here's what we're working on today. 1997 Ford Aerostar van, 3-liter V6. Customer just took it in for inspection. It failed because of a check engine light. The check engine light's on for an EVAP code. I think it's a P1443 code. We're going to pull this thing in, plug in the scan tool, and see what we've got. Alright, we got the scan tool plugged into this Ford P1443, like the customer said. EVAP emission system control valve, low or no flow. So I'm going to do first is a visual inspection of this control valve. I'm going to hop on the internet and figure out where the control valve is on this particular vehicle and just do a simple visual inspection on the control valve to start. For me to get to this EVAP canister purge valve on this Aerostar, I've got to get in and pull out this air box, and the vapor canister and the solenoids should be right underneath. I did get this control valve out. The rubber lines were hard, took a little finagling, but we got it out. I'm going to walk this over to a battery I got on the bench, and I'm going to see if I can actuate this solenoid and see if it actually is working or if it's froze up. Got this solenoid hooked up, and when I power it up, that solenoid does open and close like it should. I did go ahead and hook my smoke machine up to this EVAP system just to see if I could find any leaks as well. On this particular car, let's see if I can show you where the vapors enter the intake manifold. We've got a little bit of a leak. I'll try to replace that rubber line. We've also got a leak down here. We've got a leak coming out of this rubber line on this purge valve as well. To fix the leak that we had back here from this canister pipe that goes into the intake, this rubber line is all deteriorated. So I've got some line here. I'm just gonna cut out and make a new piece for that rubber, and we'll probably do the same thing for that piece of rubber as well. So off camera, I've done a little bit more testing on this valve. You saw me earlier hook it up to power, and I couldn't hear this thing activate. I decided I wanted to see if I could get smoke to blow through this thing when I activate it. Well, when I hooked my smoke machine up with a couple PSI of pressure on this solenoid, it would not activate anymore. Like the solenoid's weak or something, and it wouldn't open and close with a little pressure on it. So I did some digging online, saw that was pretty common. My local auto parts store had the solenoid in stock. They also had the flow valve in stock. Now this code 1443 says there was low or no flow detected through the EVAP system. So we could have a bad flow sensor as well. So I went ahead and replaced that. I quoted it to the customer to replace both of those things. It was about $80 in parts for this sensor and the flow sensor. So I've picked those up. I'm gonna go ahead and get those installed, and we're gonna fire this car back up, take it for a ride, and see if this P1443 code is still there or not. Right here's that flow sensor I was talking about. Here's the new flow sensor. I'm gonna go ahead and get it slapped in. Got our air box. Gonna go plug our air box back in. Got one more vacuum line over here that I removed when I was working on these other hoses back here by the intake. I want to get plugged back in. Alright, I've got everything hooked back up under the hood, but I do want to show you what I actually replaced. Here's this flow sensor. Here's this original purge valve. And these were those two rubber hoses that were really just deteriorated that I've replaced. I don't know if these leaks were causing any issues with the system or helping set that code, but we know now we don't have any leaks and that those two hoses are replaced as well. I'm gonna fire this thing up and hopefully it's fixed. Take this old girl for a ride. Got my scan tool with me, so I can see if this check engine light comes back on. The actual light bulb in the check engine light is either burnt out or disabled, so you can't actually tell if the check engine light was on. That's why the customer didn't even know we had a check engine light until we ran her through inspection and they plugged it in. Well, we got this Aerostar wrapped up. I've driven it probably 10 miles, started and stopped it a few times. So far, so good. I'm gonna call the customer, have him pick it up, run it through inspection. P1443 EVAP, low or no flow through the canister is fixed. Y'all have a great one.